Hi everyone. Today is Saturday, July 19th, 2025, and this is your reading for today. So, I'm going to open up this space to allow for the message that we need to hear in order for us to align with the highest version of ourselves. So, I'm going to shuffle and open up this reading, beginning with a card from the Sacred Oracle deck. And we can dive into the energy of the day. May we be receptive to the message that needs to be heard. May we be able to integrate and weave it into our lives in a way that uplifts. Okay, so we have, perfect, we have faith in the process as our first pull. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull some tarot cards on this, and I'm going to ask for the specifics of the process. What process right now are we needing to ground ourselves within? Where are we needing more trust in our lives? This may also be a calling to slow down and relax into the process instead of needing to control it through action. Instead, moving from moment to moment with presence and trusting that you will know what each moment requires. All right, let's pull. We've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So this journey of understanding you have the tools you need to move forward, but you need to direct the energy, meaning there needs to be more preparation, there needs to be more planning energetically and physically. So being able to take your inspirations and ground them through physical action and energy work is what's going to help you see the next step. And so I'm going to pull one more. We've got the Tower. Right now, this is an indication that you need to be more mindful of repeating old cycles in this journey. This journey may be understanding the process of these old cycles and programmings that you keep repeating but don't quite understand why. So taking your time within these cycles to understand why you do the things you do, is going to be how you move out of cycles that don't serve you and into cycles that do. And the Wheel of Fortune is definitely a reminder here that you have all the tools that you need in order to change the cycles that aren't serving you. You have the tools, you have the experiences, you have the understanding and the lessons. So now it's about application. And when you apply things differently, you're going to see old versions of yourself wanting to fight their way to the forefront of your decisions. And being able to stay grounded in what you want and who you want to be is how you're going to be able to quiet those old cycles and bring forth new ones. And then we've got the Five of Swords. So this is indicative of a crossroads, which is definitely something I just spoke on. The crossroads is the old cycles and the new ones. It's choosing, it's being able to look strongly at your two choices and decide who you want to be. This is a moment, a crossroads of empowerment, of crossing a threshold, of becoming the best version of yourself. And the work is deep work, it's inner work, it's knowing who you are and who you want to be so that you can create cycles that uplift and move you into a higher level of reality. Okay. So from here, I'm going to pull guidance cards and we can start moving forward this energy into something that is applicable and something that you can actually work with. More specifics, perhaps. And I'm going to ask here for the guidance we need moving forward. Many of the times when I do readings like this for the collective, it's very general, and I think people have a hard time with general sometimes because they want to know the specifics of a particular area in their life. And most of the times it's whatever comes up in your head, because we are all going through different things at different times in different areas of our life. So if the first thing you intuitively feel is I need to move into trusting my programming within love relationships, then this is probably the advice for that particular area of your life. Because what happens is processes sort of kind of play out the same in all areas of our life. But if we think about the one area that's most important to us, we can start applying. And what happens is when you apply it to things and you see that it's working, you begin to bring that same energy into every area of your life. When one area of your life lifts into a different frequency, everything else has no choice but to come with it or fall away. So that's important to remember moving forward. Okay, so guidance moving forward here, we've got telepathy of Terra Mater. So this is telepathy of Mother Earth. It is an indication that you are being guided and to spend more time in isolation people think isolation is a bad thing. I would say spend more time in quiet. Create a sacred place for yourself, sacred space for yourself. Preferably within nature. Observe how nature naturally evolves and grows no matter what is going on around it. When the forest burns, it still produces life afterwards. So remember that everything is a process. To understand your own process, sometimes you need to observe the process that naturally happens around you, which is within nature. Nature creates a process that unifies while also keeping their individuality, and humans work in the same way. So the key here is to understand your most important thing to do right now is become your most authentic self. So the programming here is knowing what was given to you that is not yours, the things that you were taught that is not yours, that doesn't align with who you are, and that you can understand that by developing the relationship you have with yourself and knowing what your intuition sounds like. And the only way to know what your intuition sounds like is to begin to play with it. Follow some things, follow certain things that you feel in your heart and see how it plays out. And see when you follow things from a state of fear, from things that continue to repeat itself in its head, and see how, inside your head, and see how that plays out and compare the difference. This is a time of learning and experience through reflection and experiencing things by being intentional with your decisions. Now, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to listen to everything other than your intuition, because when you make those kinds of decisions where you realize you didn't listen to your intuition, you get closer to what your intuition sounds like. Sometimes we need to experience the opposite in order to know the truth of ourselves. And so the key here is having faith in the process of learning who you truly are, in reprogramming old echoes of your past and becoming a new person, and be stepping into the person that you want to be, and more importantly, relaxing into the process, trusting the process. You are going through the process of leveling up, so allow it to happen and be graceful and forgiving with yourself as you go through it. I hope you were able to draw something valuable from today's reading. Have a great day.